Thank you for joining me here. I hope you get a very good sound out of this anyways. I'm going to put on a little music on the next one so that I can perhaps make this a little bit more interesting. They say size is everything. Let me show you or explain. This one here is the one that I can fire in my kiln, which gives me a height of 5.5 inches. I have these molds that I used to use in a bigger kiln. They're 9 inches. I can lift it up on the bottom so that I can almost get 12 inches. So this is one that I used. I shot this. This was the latest candy apple red vase, which I fired on, I believe it was on this one here. And so that was, that turned out quite nice. Anyways, they say size is everything. I guess that's so true. Each one is an upgrade to the 9-inch one. This is one of them, and I could fire it on here, which gives me a larger base than that small little base. Only problem is I can't get this into my kiln. So being a potter a long time ago, I had an account with a company where I could buy the fire bricks that is identical fire bricks to what's in my even heat kiln. The size of these are 9 inches, 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I have 8 of them. Well, actually I have about 10 or 12 of them, but 2, 4, 6, 8 on the bottom. This one I made a long time ago. This measures 22 by 20, roughly 22 by 22, and it is 2-inch brick by 2.5. And what I did originally, I just cut this right down the middle, and then I put all 4 of them together, which is quite unique. Well, it's different. So anyways, what I did is I drilled holes in here, and I have a stainless steel glass rod, and I cut them into small pieces, and I used them in here, one in the top, one in the bottom, at every joint. Then I made up these corner angles and put these tightening rods in from a clamp, and this holds this together real nice. So I'm going to just set these down here for now. That's carbon nitrate on those. These ones I usually heat up, and then I put a coat of kiln wash on it, and then I put a couple of pieces of paper on it. And then when I fire it, it works out really well. So here it is. Because I only have 5.5 inches of original height in my kiln now. So I've added 7.5, which gives 12 and roughly 12.5, 12. This is 9 inches. And this is the other one that I made up. I got to finish cleaning it though before I fire it, which is quite large and quite heavy. I would never be able to fire this in my kiln with such a small. Where is it going to go? It's going to lay down on the bottom of the shelf. No good, right? So that's what got me thinking. Sorry. That's what got me thinking, how can I put this all together? So I ordered the bricks a long time ago and built this one just so that I could have the taller one in there to make a little larger vase. So this is really nice and exciting because now I can do a 16-inch round, put it on this mold and drop it down, and now I have a beautiful vase. And you're going to see this because I'm going to set this all up and I'm going to fire this, and then it's just going to be amazing. So if you like this kind of content, please hit the like button, and that'll really help me, and subscribe. And then every time that I upload a somewhat of a helpful tutorial video, you'll get a notification, or you'll see it pop up, and you can come and take a look at it. So this is the brick, and I've got it all laid out in the bottom, but you can't really see it. But I have a 4-inch or 4.5-inch space in here, so I would need to fill that 4.5 by 4.5. And what I would do is I'd simply take my brick on a base here, clamp it nice and snug, use this type of a saw and just cut it. Most of the joints are fairly tight. You don't have to worry about too much of a heat loss because they're so perfectly flat, but you do get a little bit of a gap in there. And you got two choices. You could cut a couple of pieces of thin fire and have them in there and then squeeze it together. And remember, you're only setting this up maybe, if you get 2-3 of them ready to fire, once you got it set up, you can just boom, 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 do the 3, and you're done. And you can see how nice that is. Now remember, I got another 5.5 inches on top of here, and the heat in here is on the glass. It's surrounded by the lid. So that's basically another inch on top of that, right? So that would be 12, yeah, roughly 12.5, and beautiful. Now, I fired it before this, never a problem, just with the one. So this time, firing it this way here, I'm going to see how well that this heats and softens the glass to make a beautiful vase. And these will be, you'll see, they're really nice. A square one, almost 16 by 16 square, drop down. I'm going to be making one that looks like a monarch butterfly. Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now you don't have to use a glass rod on here. on this one here. You can see how it moves around or whatever. But you just try to keep everything tight, snug. And I have a fire blanket. I could put some on the inside, but I don't think it's really necessary. And I want to fire it. And I'm all full of dust. All full of dust now. So 8 of these from my supplier shipped to my door was $125, which is fairly inexpensive. Seeing that I can use it over and over and over and over again. I can use it for firing different pieces of glass within the kiln. Let's say I want to make a nice mold this way. I just put fire paper on it. Boom, 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 and I make a nice little loop. Boom. So I want to thank you for coming and looking at this part of the how to add more inches to your kiln. Thank you. Oh, look at me. Okay, thank you very much. Bye now.